Hi, I'm Dr. Andrea Burrows, and I'm the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs in the College of Education at the University of Wyoming. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about computer science resources and some things that you could use potentially in a K-12 classroom or library or other space where you're wanting to conduct a computer science activity. So I'm going to share my screen and go through a couple of resources that hopefully will help you out. All right, what you can see here, the very first site, this is the seed site, and this is uwyo.edu/seed. And this is the site that I run. This is my lab. And in this space, you can find some past events and some current events. So that's over here on the side menu. If you go to the past events, what you'll see is a list of things. And in that list of things, what you'll notice is that there are some resources for you. So one of them here in WySlice says, see a draft of computer science and cross-disciplinary matrix here. So you can click right here to get a cross-disciplinary matrix, and I'll show you that here in a second. There's also a video here that talks to you about the cross-disciplinary matrix. And I did a whole different video about just the matrix. So I'm not going to spend much time except to show that to you and then to move on. So when you open the matrix, this is what you'll see. And if you notice down here at the bottom, there are a bunch of different tabs. And these tabs that are down here at the bottom will take you to some different spaces. So for example, this one happens to be open to 6-8 science, and you can see the science content standards from the NGSS, the Next Generation Science Standards, as well as the computer science domains across the top. Right now, we are currently still filling this out, but there are some active X's here. And if you hover over them, what you'll see is that a lesson will pop up. And if you click on it, that would be a lesson that would be a cross between, in this case, molecules to organisms and data and analysis. So that is something that you can use, and you can pick your subject area and look at computer science domains as well. Something I want to point out are the videos, and there's a videos tab here at the bottom. There are 5 different playlists of videos over here, and when you open those videos up, these are meant especially for K-12 teachers and librarians and people that are doing outreach in that space, so that they can access some of these ideas and get different ideas about ways to use these in a classroom. So please access those videos. This is just an example of a lesson plan from that matrix. So when this lesson plan opens, hopefully it will here in a second. There it goes. What you'll see is there's a table of contents here. And one of the things that you'll see is that there are computer science standards as well as specific standards for the subject area. So in this case, it would be mathematics. So just know that with each of these lessons, they're set up in a very standard format on that matrix. All right, another resource for you is here with STEM curriculum K-12, and this is Teach Engineering, STEM curriculum for K-12. Teachengineering.org is the site that you would go to. And the great thing about this particular site is that you can browse by units, by lessons, by activities. You can look at something very specific. You can browse by standards. You can look for shorter activities or longer activities. There are tabs here for things to do at home, what's popular, what educators say, things that are most shared. And there are literally thousands of things to choose from. Up here at the top, you'll notice that they have a what's engineering, math and physics, the next generation science standards, engineering design. But you could also type in things like computer science or a particular thing like data analysis from computer science, and find specific lessons in that area. So teachengineering.org. All right, the next resource that I'm going to show you is EGFI, and that stands for Engineering Go For It. And that is EGFI-K12.org. And when you get there, it looks something like this. And they usually have something highlighted up here at the top, and it goes on. But you'll notice that there are some places to click. Teachers, click here for lesson plans and activities. And if you click here, then that will open a welcome space for teachers. And again, although most of these have an engineering piece, there are a lot of overlaps between some of the computer science skills and some of the engineering skills that we need for our students to be able to experience. So the Engineering Go For It is another place where you can look for ideas and activities and lessons. The next resource is CS Unplugged. So it's csunplugged.org, and it's computer science without a computer. So how do I teach computer science unplugged? What is computer science? So here's a whole space for educators. There's some things to do at home. There's some things for students. This is a wonderful place to go if you're low on resources, or if you just want some ideas and some activities for a classroom. So csunplugged.org is a great resource. Another place to go is code.org. So this is just code.org site. And when you get to code.org, what you'll see is they have a learn at home space. They have a space for students. They have a space for educators that's broken up into elementary, middle, or high school. And then they have a space here about getting involved, bringing CS to your school. The University of Wyoming is a partner with code.org. We're a regional partner, and we do offer free summer code.org professional development sessions. So you're always welcome to go to the code.org site and sign up, or contact one of us, and we'll be glad to talk to you about this. Just as a side note, computer science is not coding. Coding is a tool that computer scientists use, but this is not just about coding. And although this is called code.org, and there is a little bit of an emphasis on utilizing coding, this is not all about coding. So another resource for you is the Microbit space. And if you have Microbits and you've participated in a professional development with us, you probably have a few. This is microbit.org. And at this site, there are also so many places to go for ideas. In this space, you can learn to code, and it talks to you about using the Microsoft MakeCode, Python, Scratch. There's a Microbit classroom for teachers, and you can visit that classroom. There are resources for teachers, primary ages, secondary ages. You can view all the lessons here. And again, this is at microbit.org. There are some features that you can explore in depth. And then, of course, there's a bunch of projects that you or your students could work on in any sort of capacity. There's very novice types of projects, there's intermediate, and there's very advanced types of projects here as well. So that is another space for you to go to get some computer science ideas. Next, we're going to move into some Wyoming specific resources, and this is the computer science page through the Wyoming Department of Education, and this is Boot Up Wyoming. So this is at edu.wyoming.gov/educators/technology/CS. So Boot Up Wyoming has a lot of resources for you. You can go through and you can read about the history of the computer science standards. There are computer science definitions for you to use. There's something called script training. If you or someone at your school is interested in training about computer science, this is a place where you can get some information. There is a survey here about computer science readiness. And then there are some other spaces here about a free flexible program, Go IT. And you can see there's quite a bit here, so I'm apologizing for the scrolling. There's some PTSB, which is the Professional Teacher Standards Board. So that's for Wyoming, Pathways to Computer Science. There are webinars that were conducted that you can watch. So these are from different spaces. So this is TEALS from Microsoft. There's a Code.org. There's the Colorado Teacher of the Year, Array School of Design and Technology, the RAMPed program, which is a professional development that I was the lead for a few years ago, Microsoft Imagine Academy. Anyway, there's a bunch of different things here that you can watch and maybe get some ideas about things to do in your school or your space. There's information here about NCAR, which is the National Center for Atmospheric Research. And then it just keeps going. There's lots and lots of things here. There's also some information on some funding opportunities. And then there are some opportunities broken up into elementary, middle, and high. So you have to scroll down quite a bit to get there. But when you get there, there are some links which help you get some ideas again for computer science in your classroom. There's also a space here for college. And then there are some general computer science resources. So a bunch of things here that you can go through, and I'm definitely not going to click on all of these links, but I highly recommend going to edu.wyoming.gov/educators/technology/CS, and then look at the bottom here for those general computer science resources. And then the last resource that I'm going to talk about in this particular video is the AAAS Science Assessment Space. And the site for this is assessment.aas.org/pages/home. And when you get to this space, there are tabs up here at the top. It'll tell you about this particular site, but the thing I think you're going to be interested in is if you go to the Assessments tab and you click on that, it'll open up all of these different spaces. Now, although this is particular to science, there are some spaces, again, that are going to cross over to computer science, to engineering, and to some other disciplines as well. For example, the nature of science, the control of variables and models can be found in almost any discipline. So when you click on one of these, so let's just click on models, what you'll see is basically some statements. So a model of something is similar to, but not exactly like the thing being modeled. And it says here, these are key ideas related to student misconceptions, things that students understand or don't understand very well. So the misconception is the thing that they think they might understand, but they really don't. And if you dig inside this site, what you will see is that they actually tell you how many times students, and thousands of students, have taken these surveys. I'll just click on cells here so you can see this. If you click on cells, then you can start seeing here are some percentages, and this is the percent of students that answered correctly to what this is. So if we go back and we look at models again, and I first read that a model of something is similar to, but not exactly like the thing being modeled, and we click on that. What you'll see here is similar to what we just saw with the cells. This is the percentage of students answering correctly. So a model can be bigger or smaller than the thing it represents. So in grades 6 to 8, 61% got this correct, and in grades 9 through 12, 77% did. So this is a place to go to look to see how people, students across the nation are answering questions like this and what maybe you should pay attention to. This question, for instance, this is a low percentage, as is the rest of these here, in terms of correctly answering a question. So this one, a model can be different from the thing it represents in size and shape. A model can be different shape than the thing it represents. It can be a different color. Those are things that you could potentially bring up with your students, and then you can talk to them about computer science modeling and skills needed for computer science. So I'm going to stop sharing and just go back and just say that there are so many resources for you for computer science use in classrooms. This is just a glimpse of different spaces that you can go to get ideas for computer science skills and computer science topics. I highly recommend that you really take some time, dig into the spaces that I went through today. And if you do have questions or if you'd like help or support, please reach out anytime to me. Again, Andrea Burrows, or the PI that I've worked with for WySlice and WyStack, Mike Brofchek, and let us know that you'd like some support and assistance, and we'll be glad to help at your school, with your district, or in your classroom. Thanks so very much for watching.